like back in the day, you didn't even have social media, right? So you had even less to focus on as a racer. Now teams want you posting and you got to keep sponsors happy. I mean, what's it been like? Because, yeah, you've done a bit of a podcast tour. I know you were in California, you've done some. It's a super interesting story, but they want you to tell it, right? So you've got to be the one available to the media and dealing with all that.
Yeah. It's something that when you were racing and when I started racing was I think Instagram was even around then, or social media. It wasn't part of any contract you had. Um, and now it's just the landscape's so different. I really like doing the podcasts. I've never had to actually produce a podcast. I've gone on several podcasts, and it's really nice for me because I'll jump on the phone with you for an hour and a half, and we'll chat, and then I'll hang up and go about my day. And you've got to do all the hard work of producing that into a show and posting it and getting it out to the viewers. Um, but more so with social media, it's like an opportunity for riders to add another layer of value, more than just for racers, more than just for race results. So yeah, the value proposition to sponsors is totally different now. When I started doing the frameworks project, I didn't pitch a single race result in any of my sponsors, in any of my proposals. It was all about the video series that I was going to create, explaining my project, um, providing them with photos and videos that they can use on their social media, in their website, in their online ads. Um, and the value of that, those digital assets, is a new thing that for brands, they can quantify that maybe a little bit more with their correlation to sales. So it's just a new thing. In the past, it was the job of the team or the brand to take our race result and make that into a story that they were able to tell about their product to sell it. And now as a rider, we have to do all of that as well. Like they want us to tell the story of their product, carry the good word about whatever parts we're using or products that we're using of theirs. And I can see how it is a value. It's just your job as a pro athlete is totally different now than it was before this started.
How crazy is that? You didn't pitch a single result, makes sense. And without the internet, this project of yours might not have got off the ground. At least you wouldn't have had as many sponsors. Imagine pitching it before there was a thing called YouTube.
Yeah, I could have posted it on Ride Monkey back in the day. But yeah, it's crazy. Like it gives you it just gives you more power to do things yourself. I think it's cool. Like you can create your own channel. You don't need to rely on TV production, or you don't have to rely on somebody else to create the platform to view this stuff. You can do a lot of it yourself, and that gives you the chance to do it in a way that you want. But with that comes the responsibility to actually do it. So it's a double-edged thing. It would have been nice to race back in the heyday when salaries were really high in the early 2000s, and there was no need for any self-promotion. People did it for you. But times change, and you got to grow with the times.
Yeah, but the catch 22 is if you got that, you better have been savvy with your money or got some serious results, because once that ended, there wasn't really many options to stay in the industry. There's a few now that run teams, like Will Longden and Nigel Page. And obviously, I'm forgetting many of them. But what I mean is, like, they couldn't transition into ambassador, or like you've got this YouTube channel, you grow it big enough, you could start doing other things with the channel, right? You kind of own your own asset there, and you've like got this value you can offer any sponsor. So it's super interesting. So it's like it is this double-edged sword, because some days it's being on social media to me sometimes has quite a negative effect, on my personality and psyche. But I'm also thankful because it's part of what I do, or because the sponsors need a video on YouTube promoting a new bike. That's why I still get to live in this bubble. I think our world, this bicycle bubble. It's not the real world, and I'm really, 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 really thankful. And I think it's with any job. People say, "Oh, you got this really cool job." Doesn't mean it's an easy job. It comes with its own sort of pros and cons.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think you've done an amazing job at it, Needles, with this podcast and all the sponsors that you were able to carry after your career. Um, and it shows like you put in that hard work to create this brand for yourself that carries on further than your race career can. And that's so cool that you put in the work and it starts to pay off. You can show sponsors a new value. And like you said, a lot of guys in the past would their career would be over. Like really good riders back in the day. Um, their last race was pretty much the last time they were getting paid for anything bike related. So now there's just more to it in the industry. And if you put in the work, if you look at these things as tools or platforms to grow your or share the message that you want to share, whatever your personal brand is, you just have easier access to people. Back in the day, you'd go to a event, maybe talk to some people in the parking lot, in the pits, and now you can do it on social media and instantly access a whole lot more people who can hear your message. So as long as you keep perspective of that and just try to use it to positively share who you are, I think it's a great tool.